All right.
City clerk report.
We're meeting with Ben Meverns next week. Want it to really be...
Where's our attorney?
She's not here. I haven't talked with her today. Well, we're getting together next week, and I would like to, kind of have a consensus of the council about really where it is that we can go, what it is that we could do, if anything, to help the project come to be. So what I have in here is just that copy of that same draft of the agreement that we went through right away around the first of the year, or before. And
No, we were on the council.
Oh, really?
And then the highlighted things are things that came out of that first meeting as some potential ideas, and ideas or concerns that were raised. So I guess I'd like to go through this agreement and take a look at those highlighted issues again and see what everybody's thinking is on this. Because when we get together next week, I'd really like to be able to get a firm foundation about where everything's going to go. And I know Mike has some real concerns, and they're more about what type of system and how he's going to finance this, and is the city going to help, and what happens when somebody new connects on later. And these are things I think that we need to have answers for, as far as what the city's position is going to be on that. Okay? So when we looked at this agreement, and we looked at number one, just describes the property, and number two described the design and permitting, and we entered that highlighted area about that the owner would agree to install this non-clogged lift station.
On number one, now, what does that happen when Jake wants on?
That'll be one of the big questions I think we need to get resolved, because Mike doesn't want, basically Mike doesn't want Jake to come along in a year or two and be able to connect to the city system for virtually free.
I heard that he was trying to get half of it, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that it was that much, but I tell you, it was a third.
He asked for a third.
Is that right? All right.
That's what Jake told me.
All right.
And Jake don't want to pay a third of it, and I don't blame him. So,
And relative to the amount of use,
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a lot.
what's the normal fee to hook up?
$250 per lift station, and that passes through 4 lift stations, so the fee would be $1,000.
Okay. And this whole project is like, isn't it $77,000 or some number like that?
77,000 when you talk about
I'll pull that out.
For the whole project, I think that's what it comes to.
Was $70,000,
Okay.
$70,300.
And there's, what, 20 trailers out there?
Oh my gosh,
Almost
more
40.
than that.
Okay.
That's a
Up to
lot.
50 he wants to go there.
Okay. So let's say he has 50 of them there. Now, they're not going to use what Jake's is going to use in a year, but probably 10 of them put together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is Jake 1/5? Is that what he is?
Then he can have 2 homes too, I think. His home is...
Jake is?
No.
Mike is?
Mike is going to have another home, right?
But he'll have to pay a hookup fee when that house gets built, right? If he builds another
If
home?
this is after the fact, yeah,
Yeah.
certainly. Yep,
And I don't think he'll ever done by then, will he? Isn't it that barn?
the barn. Yep.
That the barn's gonna be a house?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening in time.
Not real quick.
But it'll happen. It seems like once they get rolling at it sometimes.
But I don't know that really makes...
But then if they add on, they don't pay any more for 10 more trailers that he wants to put in there.
Right.
Right, yeah.
If we talk to Jake, I mean, if this gets financed, are we gonna assess his taxes, right? Mike's.
Well-
basically to pay this back.
You know, and I don't know that it goes on his taxes, but we
Or
would have
some kind of agreement so he pays that
a
back.
loan agreement.
So I think we should offer, if Jake was willing to pay 1/5, then we can do him too. That sounds fair to me, I don't know, and I'm just making that number up off the, how many I think are out there. I would really like to see this all happen at once if it's gonna happen,
Sure.
Yeah.
because otherwise, 6 months from now, here we're gonna be sitting with Mike mad because Jake wants to get in.
Right. And somebody will think somebody's getting a nickel more than the other guy.
And somebody will.
That's the way it always goes. Somebody's thinking they're making money off of them.
I don't know how you'd work that, Scott, with the financing and stuff, I mean,
We could, if this is where the city's financing the project, it's really easy to have a couple loan agreements. That'll be one of the big things yet to discuss as far as whether the city can finance it.
But what would be a typical finance, 10 years?
Yep.
First question you gotta ask yourself, do you wanna tie up the city's money for 10 years for a private source?
the other question we gotta ask is it gonna happen if we don't? If we don't loan the money, is it gonna happen?
If it's a sound project, what's,
It might happen, but they're not gonna be annexed into the city, and therefore we're not gonna get any taxes on it.
Well, yeah. If they said, DNR says you need to put in a sanitary sewer. We have an ordinance that says no new connections outside the city limits. I mean, if one thing gets forced into another thing,
Eventually they have to.
they put it in at their expense, they annex, we accept their sewage, you know. If that's what it is and gets forced that way, that's the way it
But we don't know that that's gonna happen.
could end up. Well, as soon as Van Meeren would start to buck anything, it may not happen that way, yeah.
and then we can worry about the water quality issue.
You know, I look at that, you know, I think that's a huge thing.
So do I don't want no green water.
No.
I mean, I know we're gonna get some anyway, but if we get rid of one thing that we think might be causing it, even if it isn't causing it, at least everybody will say, that's not it no more.
Yeah.
We can go find something else.
So what do you think this would, what did you say it would cost the city for a portion of this, you think?
The project cost is $70,000.
$70,000.
And he wants to finance all of it.
Yeah. You know, and if the city really wants to do this and we want to help them out, we can set up a special assessment, we can borrow the money. And pass through at the same rate, but, I mean, there's ways to work through this if you don't feel that we would have the cash to address that now.
If we're gonna be the middleman, wouldn't it just be easier for them to try through a bank first and then see, or?
Yeah, but they wouldn't get the same interest rate as what we would as a, you know, our big advantage is that all of our debt is tax exempt. And as tax exempt debt, the interest rate's less.
And then, I guess on paragraph 16, we get first lien on it if this goes belly up.
Like he had said we could put first lien on his property.
And what if it's not done by the date?
Well, then he's gonna, you know, I don't know that we have any damages in there, but the bigger damages come with the third party to the agreement is the DNR, and they're the ones who would have the stringent timeline about when things would have to be done. And they're the ones who would be levying any fines or anything.
So that would be sufficient. If we need to